That's good. Everyone good over here? A lot of noise going on. Very distracting. A lot of noise. Very distracting. Very distracting over here. Everybody stare and make them feel bad. Everyone look over here. Drugs. That's what I want to talk about. Drugs. I want to talk about drugs. All drugs legal. Can we agree? All drugs legal, except marijuana. You guys have ruined marijuana here. You've ruined weed. Way to go, Colorado. You've made it not cool. Pot was cool when it was a dangerous drug, when it was illegal, and if you smoked it, you were sticking it to the man, you were rebelling against something. Now it makes sick kids feel better. That's not the same at all. I've actually noticed as pot has become more and more legal, I've been doing more and more cocaine. I've seen They finally did it. They made pot a gateway drug. They figured it out. You did it. And yes, all drugs legal, even meth. Even meth should be legal. You shouldn't do meth, but it still should be legal. You shouldn't do meth. I mean, statistically, there are people here that do meth, and that's okay if you do. If you do, just stand up so we can all point at you and laugh. Like, look at that idiot. Why are you doing meth? The only reason that you should ever do meth is that if you didn't realize that other drugs existed. You know what I mean? If that was like the only... You're like, oh, I thought that was the only one. I didn't know Molly was a thing. But once you learn that Molly is a thing, stop. Why would you do a drug that your teeth fall out of your head and you take apart electronics for 14 straight hours? Why would you do that? We could just do Molly. Like you and I, perfect strangers, we could just do Molly, right, together, and we would just be hanging, and we would just be staring into each other's eyes, and I would see all your pain, and you would see all my pain. We would just be open, spread open, man, and we would feel each other, and we would realize, like, wow, we're all connected. We're all connected, and then there's a whole well of empathy just out there that we can all tap into to heal ourselves if we can get over the fear of each other. Or, you know, we could just piss on our own carpet and stack VCRs up to the ceiling. We could do that. I don't know how you guys party, but all drugs legal. You shouldn't be allowed to do any drugs until you hit 30. That should be the law. No partying until you hit 30. And I know that's not popular with a lot of you guys, and I'm conveniently in my 30s. I get that, but you're so bad at partying in your teens and your 20s. You're terrible at it. You are. You're awful at it. You don't respect drugs. You're too invincible. You're ruining it for everybody else. That's what happens. It's always some 17-year-old that like takes the new drug that comes out. They take like 20 hits when you're supposed to take one hit because they didn't do their research. And you're like, good, I'm glad he ended up in the hospital. I hope he's scared to fucking death. You need to respect drugs, you fucking idiot. There's Google. Google it. You learn how to party when you get older. That's when you learn how to, right? I mean, I don't mean to point at you. You're just old as fuck. You know what I mean? And you learn how to party when you get older. You learn how to deal with it, you know, when you're 30s, 40s, 50s, because then you have to party in front of your kids or your friends' kids. You're partying in front of children constantly, and that keeps you in line. That's why you never see anybody after 30 binge drinking themselves to death. They're not doing beer bongs and keg stands and shit. There's children around, for God's sakes. Tell everybody we're gonna go refill the snack bowl, and then we sneak off into the kitchen and eat psychedelic mushrooms like an adult. Yeah, and then we play with your kids, and your kids have never had a playmate like that before. You are an unbelievable playmate. You know, the little girl's like, I want to have a tea party. You're like, oh, we're going to have a tea party. I got 13, 14 characters just lined up for this thing. Get some accents going, some costume changes. You're like, oh, my tea's a bit bitter. Can I have some sugar for my tea, please? And then your buddy walks in, you're like, are you interrupting the princess during her tea time? Off with your head, and you grab that kid's father and you drag him outside in front of the whole party and you tie him up to that chopping block, right? And this is where you get like a makeshift court going. You get like a prosecuting attorney from the party and a defense attorney from the party, and you put your silly little judge gown on. You're like, oh, I'm a judge now. And then the rest of the party, they're the jury. They hear the case, and at the end of the case, the jury's like, guilty. He cut his fucking head off, right? And the little girl's like, no, that's my dad, or whatever. This is when you get your executioner costume on. You got to get your leather pants on, no shirt, leather hood, eye holes cut out, and you get in that shed and you grab that axe because it's playtime, goddammit, and you get that axe over your head. You don't cut his head off, but you take it as far as you can, and if that little girl is crying, you've done a hell of a job. You guys have been great. Thank you very, very much.